All right, so we would go to the assignment. We'll click on the link here for the Illustrator file. We don't have a drop down to open in Illustrator, so we're going to click the three dots, open a new window, and then we can download it so we get the actual Illustrator file. Please save this to your student folder. I know we talked about making a folder for digital art, so that would be a good place for that. Your W drive. The only time we're really going to save stuff to the D drive is when they're video files, because they're like really large files generally. Everything else, you know, we look at our Illustrator files, they're only 2 megabytes. So that will process, you know, we shouldn't have any problem going across the network with that. All right, so we'll save it into here, and then we're just going to click on it to open it from your download location. All right, any issues with that so far? So we're going to have this open in Illustrator. All right, then we're going to make an artboard, and here's really where the math is coming in today. All right, if you don't remember, your Artboard tool is this one, which is kind of toward, and now I think this is like the advanced toolbar, so there might be more. You might only have one column, but it looks like kind of a square with crop marks on it. All right, everybody seeing your Artboard tool? So we click on there, and then we click and drag to make a new one.
My computer's still running a little slow with the OB product, so I'm going to be a little bit behind.
All right, well, there's not going to be too much to today's assignment, so if it's not working, just kind of observe, and so that when it does load, that you can remember what to do. So really, we just opened the Illustrator file. We made a new artboard, and now in the properties, we're going to type in our dimensions. If we want to put in the size, is that X and Y or W and H? John? W and H, good. So in the directions, it says I want it to be 4.25 in both directions. All right, so we get the size of the artboard. We're going to then press Escape to get out of the artboard editor. And then we're going to choose the design that we want for a decoration over here. All right, I'm going to pick the hat for this one. So I'm going to use kind of what we call the box selection mode. So with the selection tool active, all right, I'm just going to draw a box around the shape that I want. Now, there is kind of a text box in here that you might want to delete first. I think I had my name in there in white, so you don't really see it. But that's going to cause some issues when you're selecting, so I just deleted that one. All right. So I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to bring it over to my artboard, because that's the one I want to use for my decoration. And then I'm going to scale it to kind of fit the full size of this. All right, so open the file, make an artboard, copy and paste the one that you like over here. All right, then we're just going to use the text tool to write in our name and our kind of positive thought that we had there today about what we're lucky to have. Some of yours were kind of long, so you might want to kind of rephrase it to shorten it. All right, but I'm going to take this. I'm going to use this hat as kind of like my location here. So I'm going to write in my name, and I'm going to write in here that I'm lucky to have a healthy family.
So what was the dimensions for a small artboard?
4.25.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to now just stylize this a little bit. I'll use my paragraph to center it, and I'd like you to use a decorative font. All right, so basic, and when we're talking about those font classifications, those are the three general classifications of font are serif, sans serif, and decorative. Does anybody know how to describe what a serif is? Or maybe a type of font? Juliana?
I know one of them is like it has like
Exactly, all right? And so that's exactly what I was going to say. Any type of font that has something like this, right, where at the end of the letter there's a little kind of shape that extends, all right? And they generally go at the top also. These are called serif fonts because in French that translate to foot, all right? And then if we had a sans serif, like something like this, it's just kind of squared off. That means without feet, all right? So you're learning a little French today also. Not that I don't know how you would really apply that to anything really. You just can't go around saying serif or having it in any context, but needless to say, that is a little bit of a different language. All right, so this would be a sans serif. It's kind of squared off. We said that the serif has the feet, but I'd like you to pick something kind of that is a little more decorative, all right, a little more artistic. So something like this. So it should say, I'm lucky to have a healthy family. And you might have to extend your text box. I would try to get your font to be like at least 12 points. And I think I put on there in color, but like changing it to green or white. So we could sample this color, maybe this one, all right? The eyedropper will allow us to sample the color from something in the background there. All right, so that would be getting our message in there. And then all we're going to do is we're going to save this. Actually, we'll do a save as, because I want you to put your name at the beginning of the file name. And then we can, I think I put in the directions, we could have done this a different way too, but actually, you know what, let's do it that way. We're going to, two ways actually I'll say I want you to create a PDF because that's what I need to go into the print, the printer driver. All right, so you can either delete your artwork and then delete the artboard and then save as a PDF, and you don't have to worry about choosing a page range. So kind of name it the same, last name St. Patrick's Day. All right, or if you don't want to delete the artboards, which sometimes it's good not to because, you know, maybe you wanted to go back to the original, then you can do a save as PDF, and instead of doing all pages, just choose range and just select page 2. All right, so that will, yes?
The window cling is not really, is behind the second artboard. I don't know how to bring it forward.
Probably when you made the second artboard, you drew it over one of your shapes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So you'd have to kind of delete maybe one of the artboards and kind of just make a new one, like out in an empty space. All right, and that's it. So once you have your two files saved, then I'd like you to go back to the assignment and submit both of those files. All right, so you should have an Illustrator file and a PDF, both with your name at the beginning.